You're being completely selfish, Claire. My mother's voice snapped across the marble countertops of their Nashville kitchen, sharp as a whip crack. Your sister has a dream, and you're just sitting on all that money like some miser. I gripped the edge of the farmhouse sink, steadying myself as the room shifted into a courtroom, and I became the accused. My name is Claire Dawson. I'm 31 years old, and apparently the villain, because I refused to drain my hard-earned savings to bankroll my younger sister Mia's latest golden opportunity. It's not like that, I said, forcing calm into my voice. I worked years for that money. I have plans. Plans? Mia laughed, flipping her caramel blonde hair like she was starring on reality TV. What plans? Your little data job in Seattle? This is a real chance, Claire. Her dream? A luxury wine bar in downtown Nashville. Velvet seats, live jazz, overpriced charcuterie boards. Do you know how many influencers I could bring in? She pressed. My father, usually the quiet diplomat, finally spoke. Claire, be reasonable. Your sister has vision. She's always had that spark. Then came the dagger. You're steady, stable. You can always save more. Those words cut deeper than they knew. In our family, steady and stable meant dull, forgettable. I have $138,000 saved, I said quietly, and Mia wants all of it, every penny. It's an investment, Mia shot back. You'd be a partner, for once in your life. Think big, Claire. But all I could think of was the path that got me here. A tiny Seattle apartment, 2 jobs through grad school, nights buried in analytics reports, skipped vacations, years of saying no, clipping coupons. Meanwhile, Mia bounced from failure to failure. The boutique gone in 4 months, the wellness studio that folded in 8 weeks, the exclusive event company with 1 client, our cousin's wedding. Every time, Mom and Dad bailed her out, convinced this would be the one. No, I said finally, my words sharp as glass. I'm sorry, but I won't do it. The silence lasted half a second before the explosion. How can you be so cruel? My mother cried. And just like that, I was branded selfish for refusing to finance someone else's dream at the cost of my own. After everything we've done for you, my father said, his voice hard with accusation. I knew you were jealous, Mia spat, lips curling into a perfect smirk. But this is low, even for you. I looked at them. Really looked. My mother, who'd spent my entire childhood urging me to be more like your sister. My father, who never once asked about the projects that consumed my nights, yet proudly showed up at every one of Mia's grand openings. And Mia, beautiful, magnetic Mia, who had never held a steady job, yet always got everything she wanted. I'm not jealous, I said, my voice steady. I'm done. I turned and walked out, ignoring the chorus of my name echoing behind me. Upstairs in my old bedroom, I grabbed the leather duffel I'd stashed under the bed days ago. I'd seen this coming. Mia had been dropping hints for weeks. I knew the pattern. Charm, pressure, guilt. Claire Marie Dawson, don't you dare walk out that door, my mother shouted as I descended the stairs. At the bottom, I paused, turned, and met their eyes one last time. You know what's funny? I said with a faint smile. None of you ever asked what my plans were for that money, not once. Because your plans probably involve more spreadsheets and boredom, Mia sneered. Some of us actually want to make something of ourselves. I laughed softly, not bitter this time, just pity. Goodbye. I walked out. Behind me, my mother's sobs, my father's heavy sigh, Mia's furious shouting. But in the driver's seat, I felt weightless. They had no idea. While Mia dreamed of velvet lounges and champagne bars, I'd been building something real. Tomorrow, I'd fly to Zurich, beginning as head of strategy at a leading renewable energy firm. The salary was life-changing, the work meaningful, and, best of all, it was 5,000 miles from their endless demands. My phone buzzed with calls and texts. I turned it off. They'd hear the news eventually, but not tonight. By this time tomorrow, I'd walk through the glass doors of my new office overlooking Lake Zurich. Let them call me boring. I call it free. Let them call me selfish. I call it done. Claire, wait. My mother's voice wavered, raw with strain. Your sister. She hasn't been doing well since you left. Nothing in her life seems to work out. Maybe if you just spoke to her. No, Mom. I interrupted, calm but unyielding. I'm not Mia's fallback anymore. I have my own life. After hanging up, I stepped onto my balcony overlooking the glittering waters of Lake Zurich. The view pulled me back through years of being overlooked. Nights spent drafting business models in grad school while my family skipped my milestones for Mia's newest venture. The graduation ceremony they brushed aside because her boutique had its grand opening that same weekend. My phone buzzed. Message from Mia. Saw your little Forbes mention. Must be nice wasting your life crunching numbers while your family crumbles. Real classy, Claire. I smiled faintly as I typed. Actually, it is nice. Really nice. Then I blocked her number. The next morning, sunlight streamed across Lake Zurich as I stood in the glass atrium of our headquarters. Henrik, our CEO, walked in with a grin. Claire, funny story. Your sister called the office yesterday, asked if we had executive openings, claimed she had extensive experience running businesses. I couldn't help but laugh. And what did you tell her? That we're fully staffed with qualified energy strategists. She didn't take it well. The city below sparkled gold in the dawn, and for the first time, I felt unburdened. No guilt, no expectations, only purpose. You know, Henrik added, your family is still listed as your emergency contact. Want to change that? Memories surged, crises they'd twisted into leverage, support that always came with a price. Yes, I said firmly. I do. As my team gathered for the day, the weight I'd carried for years slipped away. I hadn't only built a career, I had built myself. And no tantrum, no guilt trip, no manipulative phone call could undo that. For once, my mother had been right about something. I looked happy, and I truly was, because I had left. 6 months after the Forbes feature, I was in my corner office overlooking the lake when disbelief stopped me cold. 8 voicemails from my family, voices I hadn't heard since blocking Mia's number and updating my contacts. Each one more desperate than the last. The reason? The World Economic Forum broadcast the night before. There I was, steady, boring Claire, delivering a keynote on sustainable energy to an audience of global leaders. The first voicemail was from my mother, her voice dripping with sudden pride. Darling, you were brilliant. Why didn't you tell us? The Hendersons saw it on CNBC. They called to congratulate us. The next was my father. Princess, we had no idea your work mattered this much. The club is buzzing. Even the university dean called me, said we must be proud. Then came distant relatives who hadn't spoken in years, suddenly fascinated by my career. But the last voicemail stopped me. Mia, calling from a new number. Claire, I saw your speech. You looked amazing. Listen, I've got an idea for an eco-friendly beauty brand. With your connections, maybe we could talk. I deleted it without hesitation. Through the glass walls, my team was preparing for final negotiations. A $2 billion renewable grid project that would transform Europe's infrastructure. Henrik popped his head in, grinning. Ready for more fame? Bloomberg wants you after the deal closes. I laughed, reaching for my blazer. As long as it doesn't slow my team down. Oh, and he handed me an envelope. The UN Climate Summit invited you as keynote speaker, all expenses covered, plus an honorarium most CEOs would envy. I unfolded the letter, eyes widening at the figure. This is unreal. You earned it. Your strategy is changing the game. Henrik smirked. Though I suspect your family will be disappointed you'll invest in renewables instead of Mia's. Next idea. Just then, another text pinged from my mother. Darling, we're thinking of visiting. Mia has wonderful ideas to share. Your WEF talk could really help her brand. I switched the phone off with a smile. Some things never changed. Still, I tapped out a quick reply before powering down. Sorry, can't host. Too busy finalizing the International Green Energy Accord. You can catch my Bloomberg interview next week. The cameras were already set up. When I entered the conference hall, my team polished data models showing how our pilot cut emissions by 40% across European cities. Claire, the producer called, could you tell the camera what inspired you to pursue sustainable energy? I thought of the years my ambitions had been dismissed as dull, of holiday dinners where I was told to be more like Mia, flashy, reckless, attention-grabbing. I smiled into the lens. I learned early that the biggest changes aren't always loud. Sometimes real progress is steady, deliberate work that reshapes the world quietly. Perfect, the producer said. As filming began, I scanned the room, executives, policymakers, investors. 6 months ago, I was branded unambitious. Now world leaders were asking for my signature. No boutiques, no desperate stunts for attention. Instead, I had built this future brick by brick, through strategy papers, late nights, and the courage to walk away from those who never believed in me. The boring daughter was now the architect of Europe's largest green energy initiative. Hours later, when the deal closed and applause erupted, I stood at the podium, my phone buzzing in my bag with yet more calls from home. I didn't check. My real circle was here. Colleagues who respected me, partners who trusted my expertise, a global network that valued my vision. That night, on my balcony overlooking Zurich's lights, I thought of the road that brought me here, the insults, the comparisons, the doubts, and I smiled. Tomorrow I'd fly to Geneva for the Climate Summit keynote. The cameras would roll, the world would listen. The daughter once dismissed as plain had found her spotlight, not by demanding it, but by earning it through steady, relentless work. Walking away from the life they planned for me had been brutal. The guilt trips, the accusations, the nagging question in my head, what if they're right? I fought through it all. And here I was, thriving in a career that mattered, surrounded by people who valued me for me. So if you've ever felt pressured to sacrifice your dreams for someone else's, I want to know, did you stand your ground, or are you still finding the courage to? Share it. Because we don't talk enough about how hard it is to put yourself first. And if my journey leaves you with one truth, let it be this. Being steady is not boring. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's survival. It's strength. Your worth isn't defined by what you give up for others. It's defined by the life you build for yourself. If you believe that too, stick around for the next chapter.